Hello everyone, and welcome back to Total War Warhammer 3. So, last time I showed you a custom quest battle that was made by the person who works on a special mod called Victory Conditions Overhaul. Since then, I got a bit more clarification directly from the person who works on the mod, who I am going to refer to as TFE, since that is what they are listed as in Discord. TFE, if you watch this, which you probably will when I let you know I made this video, I hope you don't mind me sharing a bit of the information you shared with me via the DMs that we exchanged in Discord, just because I find it interesting information that I'm sure some of the viewers would like to know. Not to mention, it includes a couple things that I think would be cool to share. So, one of the things that I wanted to clarify was that it turns out there's quite a few custom quest battles that were made from scratch that were not in the game previously. Now, I also wanted to get got some clarification that TFE may not be the person who originally built the mod. That would be someone named Wolfie, who I was told built the mod and all the foundational code, but he doesn't do any actual content work on it now and has moved on with his life, but he may come back one day, he said. TFE is the one who basically is working on it, and it's just him doing all the content for it. And can I just say, based on what I've experienced so far, job well done. Very, very excellent job. From what I've experienced with this mod, the various different characters and quest battles, excellent job. When I have gotten them to work, but that's my own fault, it's not on the fault of TFE, that is me experiencing problems because I tend to run a few too many mods. In fact, I actually ran into another technical issue trying to get the other quest battle that I have available for Throt here, which is from one of the routes called the Ultimate Harvest. TFE, just letting you know, when I tried to do queue up for this quest battle, when I hit the start battle button, all I got was a black screen, and it wouldn't load the battle. But I'm sure, that's one of those things where I'd have to probably send you a tech log to let you see which mod is causing the problem. I'm basically running a number of mods that are either cheat mods or Skaven-related mods, just because I thought they would be fun to enhance the experience, even though I think a few of them may not be entirely up to date. Again, this is entirely my fault for going a little mod crazy when I see a whole bunch of mods I want to use, and unfortunately they may not be fully compatible. Now, this is going to be a bit of a somewhat fixed issue next week when the DLC happens, because once the DLC goes live, I'll have to use far fewer mods, because I know a lot of them are going to have to get updates. Plus, I'm going to want to go ahead and play the DLCs and their campaigns and characters a bit more legit until I start using mods, But anyways, in the meantime, which is also going to, based on what TFE told me, that's going to be one of the next things that he works on, will be thrown into decay, and then Grom versus Eltharion, Kazrek and Luen, Orion versus Morgar, the Ikit Claw one with the Lizardmen, whose name I can never remember how to pronounce. But then TFE recommended this specific quest battle for Throt the Unclean, because he actually got the original voice actor to reprise his role as Throt for the quest battle speech, which I think is awesome, that the actor was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. In case you're wondering if he got any other actors, no, and I will explain that in a bit once we get into the actual quest battle, because I actually want to talk about that topic. I was also told that there's quite a few of these custom quest battles. There's quite a few quest battles from the previous games that were in the game before, including from Warhammer 1 and Warhammer 2, but also some custom ones. There's 5 for Oxyodal alone, which I did try out, and were pretty fun, you know. Oxyodal is quite a fun campaign on his own, but getting these other quest battles is pretty great too. But that's some of the intended work that he plans to do. But in case you're wondering, like, what are some of the other custom quest battles that you can encounter in this? There's one between Hellebrand and Alariel. There's one with Alariel and Ariel. There's one with Queek. Actually, not one with Queek. There's a few different variations of a quest battle that involves Queek, Belegar, and Skarsnik. It's the battle for Karak 8 Peaks, depending on who you're playing as. There's even one apparently where Belegar takes on Skaven Blight. I haven't checked out that one yet, mainly because I've never really played as Belegar when I've played as the dwarves. I've always usually played as either Thorgrim or Thoric. I will say this, though, when the DLC comes out next week for Thrones of Decay, I will definitely be trying out basically all the dwarves and all of the Empire and, of course, all of Nurgle. But from what I've heard, like, Ungrim was someone I never played before, but apparently now he's going to be super strong when the DLC comes out. The Helmengorst Volkmar one. Now, I recently tried a campaign as Helmengorst, and I never usually play as Helmengorst, because I would usually always play as either Vlad or even Manfred, though these days I've stopped playing Manfred and just like to play Vlad. But the Gorst one was interesting because you got not necessarily the quest battle, but the choice that you were offered at the end, which I thought was really cool, involving possibly saving his brothers. You know, it's a really cool choice that you get. And then, like, the unique ones that involve Oxyodal, which I thought was really, really cool. But, yeah, this is really excellent work, and I am really looking forward to it. I've also been contributing possible ideas to TFE about my boy Skrulk, the Plague Lord, because I've always enjoyed playing as Skrulk. I specifically asked TFE about Akit Claw and Skrulk because they have been two of my favorite Skaven to play. Before they added DLC lords like Akit Claw and Throt and even Snitch, Skrulk was the one I usually played. I didn't really like Queek back in the day, partly because he not only had a harder start, but he also had issues with loyalty, and I have a mod that removes loyalty from the game because screw loyalty. Nothing irritated me more than making an army and then that lord leaves because his loyalty went down. I hated loyalty. It's so frustrating. But I would usually always just play as Skrulk because I liked his focus on the plague units. I especially liked him more when they changed that he actually got buffed by plagues. I always thought it was stupid that he wasn't getting stronger from plagues. But yeah, I've always liked Skrulk, and I hope that I can perhaps contribute some ideas with TFE about what he could do with Skrulk. I think he says he's going to do a bit more research into Skrulk, involving the lore and such, possibly involving Nurglitch as well, and Pestilence, which I think would be really cool. And in regards to the Skaven, we of course are all waiting for, oh gosh, what's his name? It starts with a T. Give me a second. I had him looked up before. Oh, Thanquil! Thanquil. Everyone is waiting for Thanquil to get added to this game by Creative Assembly. If he does, oh, people are going to be so happy, and that could be really fun. He's the guy who infamously accidentally summoned Scarbrand. When Queek was basically threatening him, he accidentally summoned Scarbrand. And for a moment, Queek almost thought, I'm going to take this guy on. And they went, wait, what the heck am I doing? I'm out of here. I'm not taking on Scarbrand. Queek is insane, but he's not too crazy to take on Scarbrand. Don't worry, he dies to somebody else differently later on. Spoilers. I'm not going to say who, though. But, yeah, I know what Queek's ultimate fate is. Anyways, let me go ahead and give you guys a little insight into the mod here for Throt, specifically. So, let me start with the other ones here. This one right here, Route 3, The Ultimate Harvest, is a callback to Warhammer 2, where it was your Vortex campaign was you are trying to get Ariel. Alariel is the High Elf, never mind. Ariel to show up so that he could be able to consume her, so he could possibly cure his black hunger. Unfortunately, I'm having some technical issues trying to get this quest battle to work, otherwise it would have shown you and checked out what the dilemma is between these two choices, but it is what it is. The other one here, For Whom the Bell Tolls, which is destroy these factions here, 10,000 captives, and Highway to Hell, more growth juice, more casualties, and more income from looting. But this is the one I wanted to show you guys here. This is the one that I was personally recommended to by TFE. The Conquest of Norska. Basically, Molder is supposed to not only unlock all the augments on the Flesh Lab, which I will admit the Flesh Lab is a mechanic that I was never really all that fond of, honestly, because I just didn't really get it. I didn't like getting some of the ones that basically gave you quite a bit of negatives, like this one here, where it's like, oh, they lose all the replenishment. I didn't really like it, you know, and it was just kind of like, oh, the more I add to them, the more unstable they get, and it would just kind of reach a point where it's like, oh, it looks like they're so unstable, I have to recycle them, and I didn't really like that, you know. It wasn't as enjoyable or cool or interesting to me as, say, Ikiclaw's Workshop. You know, I much rather prefer Ikiclaw's Forbidden Workshop, where you're buffing his weapon teams. Don't get me wrong, I like Throt's focus on monsters, like being able to get monster augments and buff up your monster units, which I think is a really cool idea. But I wasn't really fond of, like, this mechanic overall, but it's okay. I've also do have a few mods that are supposed to make it easier, such as no cooldown on turns waiting to use these upgrades, as well as it's supposed to remove instability. You can see I've got Ghoritch here with all these augments up to 300% instability, but it's basically supposed to remove all the instability that he would have. So yeah, he's got a lot of the augments and hardly any of the instability. So it's probably one of those mods that's not working all that well. It's not fully up to date. Again, my fault for using it. I probably shouldn't be, but I was wanting to make my things a little easier myself. So anyways, ignoring that, once you do all that, you then get control of all of the Norskin mountains here in this region over here. You can see I've entirely claimed this area because, of course, I turned on the cheat mods and just kind of started claiming everything. Partly because I want to get all the unique landmarks, because I like going around collecting all the landmarks. I think they're really cool. I also have a mod that adds a lot more landmarks to the game, but again, anyways. Regardless, once you do that, you then get this cool, unique Hell Pit Besiege quest battle unlocked. The Siege of Hell Pit, which when you get this, you get more Warpstone tokens. That's the unique currency. Again, I've got another one that replaces the currency you have, so instead of money, it's just Warpstone tokens. You get Conqueror of Norska, which is more mutagen per turn, more weapon strength for all Clan Molder units, and more ward save when you fight against Norska Warriors of Chaos, Chaos Dwarves, and Demons of Chaos. And Castellan of Carnage, which is buffs for Ghoritch. Paragon of Carnage, more missile resistance, and more weapon strength. Paragon of Carnage, which is more melee attack, up to 8. Effect intensity increases with each nearby entity death. So, yeah. Now, what is the story of this quest battle? Well, because Throt has gone around basically making things worse for the Norska, Archaon is pissed. He is pissed at Throt, and he wants to go in and just make things much worse for Throt and just kind of like probably raise Hellpit to the ground for making things worse on his Norska. Now, it's also worth noting that, of course, Throt and Archaon have history because of Ghoritch. So, in case you were wondering,
I must eat, feed.
Monstrous mutant brawn and a warrior's instinct make Ghoritch one of the greatest creations ever to emerge from Hellpit. I'll go over these units in this custom army from mods and such when we get into the actual quest battle. For now, however, also he's got a unique mod, or a unique mount, as you see from a mod. Again, quite a few mods. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this quest battle. Finally, 50 minutes in of me talking, and we haven't even started the quest battle yet. So, you get your own army, and then you get this other army here to help you out, which has mortars and bombardiers, a couple of hell pit abominations, a couple of mutant rat ogres, a couple of brood horrors, and some rat ogres, catapults. Look at what you're facing against. Archaon, Sigvald, quite a heavy Warriors of Chaos army, which includes the Regiments of Renowned Chaos Knights, a Dragon Ogre Shaggoth, and a Chaos Giant. And look who else is here. Daniel! And Daniel has brought quite a few Chaos Demon units as well, along with a Mutalith Vortex Beast. And, of course, some spawns. So, yeah, doing this without cheats was a little stressful. Just saying. Probably not going to need that, but let's go ahead and do it. So, TFE tells me, and I could tell based on what we're about to hear, that the speech that Throt gives here at the beginning was done by the actual voice actor. This isn't like an AI recreation or or audio that was done in the previous games that he clipped and then put back in here. This is, he got in contact with the voice actor and was like, hey, could you do this for a mod I'm working on? And I guess he was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Now, whether or not this is the case with Archaon in this speech here, I don't think I got full clarification on that. But it sounds like it might be an AI voice of Archaon or some audio that was spliced. I don't know, but from what I know, this is the actual voice actor for Throt.
Look, see there, the horned man-thing who gave me Ghoritch, my greatest creation experiment. Does he come to take steal back his gift? No foes can never be trusted. Cast a little hell pit. Do your job. Kill, slay him. No.
My vengeance is guaranteed. Nothing can stand in my way.
So, yeah, that didn't really sound like Archaon, did it? It sounded like it was either, like, modified audio or, like, the voice of someone else put in as if it was Archaon. I don't know, I may get clarification from TFE when he sees this. But from what he tells me, that was the actual voice actor, which let me go ahead and name drop the gentleman, because I want to give him credit. Will Hanford. Will Hanford is the gentleman who voices Throt the Unclean. He's been voicing him in this game since they first introduced Throt via the DLC. And I just think that is so cool that he got him to do that. You know, that he gave him the dialogue that TFE wrote. TFE wrote that speech, and he did the speech. That's really cool. I'm assuming he either recorded it in his studio and sent it to TFE, or maybe did it like over the phone or something, although that didn't sound like phone audio. But I just think that is so cool that he was more than willing to record that little speech there and provide it for TFE's mod. That is so cool to me. Now, in case you're wondering, I think TFE tried to get other actors to do that as well. However, according to TFE, everyone else was represented by agents who wanted a buyout of, I'm just going to say a decent amount of money, because he gives me an amount in pounds sterling. And forgive me, TFE, but I'm in America, and I sometimes forget the equivalent of an amount of pounds sterling to dollars. But let's just say it was a decent amount of money as a buyout fee and a certain amount of money per hour. which meant that one quest battle speech would have cost him quite a bit of money, is what I'm gonna say. Now, I don't know if that's what if he only paid that once to Mr. I put it away. Hold on a second. To Mr. Will Hanford, if Will Hanford just did for him as a favor, and if so, I think that's really awesome. And it's something that I love, is when actors love playing a character so much that they are more than okay and willing to provide their talent and replay a character just because they love playing the character. Like, and if it's like a clear, like a passionate fan project, like this was something that Mr. Jason David Frank, may he rest in peace, used to do when it came to playing the character of Tommy in Power Rangers. Anytime there was like a fan project that they wanted to do involving Tommy, Jason David Frank was always willing to play the character again. He was always willing to be down for participating in these kind of projects and such. It was so cool to see him come back and play Tommy in these unofficial fan projects involving Tommy and the Green Ranger, the White Ranger, just because he enjoyed playing the character. And another example of this is James Woods. He loves playing the character of Hades so much that he has always said that he would be down to come back and play Hades anytime they wanted to use the character. And he basically always has, whether it was in the movies or the cartoon or the Kingdom Hearts games, which was always great. So I just want to give immense praise and credit to Will Hanford for being able to do that, to be down one more time to play Throt the Unclean, even if it was a very brief moment. So, anyway, now that I've talked about that, let me go ahead and take a moment to show you guys some of my custom units here, that are some of which are via mods. This is from another mod called the Wiv Rat. It's a wyvern, but a rat. It's just the kind of thing that you'd expect Throt to make here in Hell Pit, wouldn't it? These are armored rat ogres. This is a chimera rat. Oh, hold on, he's on a... There we go. Even one of his feet is like that. That's just kind of the stuff of nightmares, isn't it? This is the Regiment of Renown Mutant Rat Ogre. This is the Regiment of Renown Hell Pit Abomination. The Thing. But then next to it is the Hell Beast of Seepgore. Look at how much bigger this is compared to the other Hell Pit Abomination. Now, I got this by finding a landmark building and having it unlocked. And I think the landmark building is not part of the actual game, that it's part of another mod I have. I have like 2 different mods that are adding a bunch of landmark buildings. But look at the size of this thing! Talk about the stuff of nightmares. These are storm vermin that also have rattling guns. Yep. Storm vermin with rattling guns. Those are some of the AI units. So here's Throt on top of a special mount.
Ready to eat feed!
Yep. I believe the mount is called Death Rattler, and this mod lets you be able to use this mount on both Throt and Icket Claw. I find it more fitting to use this on Icket Claw than Throt, since all Throt gets is a brood horror. I think it would be more fitting if he had the Bone Rattler Rat Ogre like some of the Warlords can get, but it's a pretty cool, strong mount. These are the Rocketeer Rats. Yep. Here are the Rattling Gun. I love the Rattling Gun Skaven. They're one of my favorite weapon team units. I love using these guys. This is the Rat Tank. It's a steam tank that is powered by Warpstone for the Skaven. Now, this is another mod. It's called Unique Steam Tanks. It's mainly for the Empire, because as the Empire with this mod, you get a list of different types of steam tanks that you can be able to refurbish if you have the right resources, that each of which provide different things and have different kind of abilities or attacks. It's really cool. But, of course, they couldn't just give the Empire some love. Now, I believe there's one other faction that gets a steam tank, but the fact that this was one you could get as the Skaven, I thought was really cool, because of course the Skaven would have a steam tank powered by Warpstone. Of course they would. Why wouldn't they? Gotta have Claw Catapults, one of my favorite siege units in the game. This is a Warp Mech Commander. These are Ratnauts. This is a special brood horror called the Warp Mech Packmaster. These are Clan Scryer Shock Vermin. And this is Ghoritch. Isn't he just beautiful? Just glorious. and then this is another mod. This is a legendary hero called Skule Gnawtooth, who will also be able to summon a special, unique companion at his side when the battle begins. He's also quite the summoner, because basically what he is supposed to be is one of the well-known great packmasters amongst the Skaven. So, the mutated fighting beasts made by Clan Moulder are whipped forward into battle by packmasters that are specially trained experts who goad the charges of their ferocious, half-mad creatures that are always at risk of turning against their handlers without warning. For this reason, packmasters themselves are Archaon fierce warriors. Alright, so that's basically talking about packmasters. I thought I was going to talk about lore involving Gnawtooth specifically. But he will summon his own personal loyal wolf rat companion and bodyguard called Gutsnagger. Because what this guy basically provides are buffs for wolf rats. So if you have a lot of wolf rats in your army, playing as Clan Moulder, he will buff them quite a bit. That's why he's a sports specialist, because he'll just automatically summon him. And then over here, it looks like, oh, these are the poison wind mortars that the AI has. Okay. So I believe that is my entire army. Oh, except for one other thing. I think that's not supposed to be there or look like that, but this is a Warp Zeppelin.
Glorious warfare!
And a Zeppelin that provides air support for the Skaven, because, yeah, of course the Skaven would have this. Alright, so now that I've introduced my army, here's the siege battle. Can I just say I'm not fond of defensive siege battles? Managing the defensive supplies, putting these things down. I've never really enjoyed this in Warhammer 3. It's one of my least favorite things about Warhammer 3, if I'll be honest, guys. But you can see, we have two full armies. They already have full-on siege equipment and siege towers ready to go. Mutalith Beasts and Vortex Beasts are over here, along with Archaon and some of his other units, including a couple of other hero units. And over here, by the way, I believe is, there he is, Sigvald. I am Slanesh's scion. So that we've got, various hero units and such kind of like leading the way. And then, of course, over here, we've got a separate army led by Daniel. So, yeah. So, when I first did this, legit, it was stressful. Partly because I don't exactly have too many units that are able to get up there on the walls and have the towers run. So I was basically having to put some of them just down here, be like, look, they're going to bust through the gates anyway, just defend these points. That's basically what I was doing. It was a little stressful. So I am going to have some of these guys do that very thing. Just kind of have them defend those capture points so that if they want to take that, they're going to have to really fight. By the way, I also have another mod that not only, my unit stats are heavily buffed. By the way, this thing can also summon Stormvermin.
Packmaster! Ready, ready!
I'm basically just putting some units on some of the points here to help them kind of defend them a little better. Just, defend there. As far as, like, the actual, like, hey, get on the towers, to activate the guns, or, like, these towers here. I mean, okay, but I don't have that many that can really do that, but sure, fine.
Our tail's yours! Rattling gun!
So here's the funny part. I can't put weapon teams like the rattling guns on top of the towers. So... this is why I was like, when I first did this, I realized I couldn't put some of these guys up there. I was like, oh crap, I'll go ahead and also put this over here in case Daniel wants to fly over. Let's see, let's put the Chimera Rat over here with Ghoritch.
I ready, yes.
The Rat Tank, this could be fun. I'll put it over here, I guess, for now, anyways. And the Catapult, I can put it a... because it's got a pretty decent range now with this mod. So, let's see. I guess I could also put it, like... I'm going to be really bad at, like, making the towers and such, partly because usually I would run out of supplies pretty fast, but, I'll go ahead and, I guess, have it face this way to deal with the forces over here, I suppose. So I guess the question is that every unit I have actually doing something in position? I guess so. Alright, let's just go ahead and do this. So you'll see, he automatically summoned his own personal Rat Wolf companion, Gutsnagger.
Packmaster!
And he can summon Tunnel Dwellers. Which are more, the Pit's Tunnel Dwellers, which are like mini versions of Wolf Rats. And I'm pretty sure they're going to decay over time, so they can just go ahead and chill here with their master in case they attack, breach the towers and breach the walls. Look at the size of that thing. A normal Hell Pit Abomination is pretty big. But that thing? Jeez. Yeah, I'm aware they're putting ladders on the walls. If they want to capture that, they have to deal with the rattling guns. And at least the AI has their own separate army that's trying to put down to actually help out. okay, guys. Can you, you know... So yeah, they're basically just kind of like breaching the walls and such.
Storm vermin! Hunger never end!
It is cool that Throt can summon his own rat ogres. Horrors.
To me, my pets!
Oh, get Sigvald.
Countess command!
All of you get Sigvald. Get him! Get him! Get him! Kill him!
Packmaster!
And I can summon a feral manticore.
Another plan! Packmaster!
I unfortunately am just kind of losing track of some of these guys, because some of these units are just walking by. That's rather insulting when they just walk past you, like, you're not worth my time.
Packmaster can!
It's like, come on. Okay, you, go after Daniel. Alright, let's see, where's Archaon? There you are. No, 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 no.
Storm vermin!
Ugh. This is rather frustrating.
Bring me creature beasts!
No.
Crunch bone!
Throt?
Tower of Hell Pigs!
Like, just focus on Archaon, dude.
Meat flesh!
Rat ogres, you attack that thing. Alright, now you go attack those spawn of Nurgle.
Experiment begins! Yes, yes!
Alright, for now, why don't you just go melee him?
For Horde Rat!
Whoops, my bad. Wrong button. And so, Throt the Unclean defeated Archaon the Ever-Chosen.
Storm vermin!
They're just standing there.
Claiming skulls.
And now they're gonna go out here and just be like, you know what? We're done waiting. We're just gonna go ahead and wreck you guys. Oh, hey, there's Village.
Food! Not you! Mobstone guides me! Kill, kill, consume!
Guide us, Horned One!
I'm like a little confused as to why some of my units are just kind of chilling. They're just like, yeah, whatever.
Be scoured, rebel! Rattling gun! Headmaster!
Well, I'm guessing some of them are just kind of like routing. Alright. Hellbeast. How about you go out here and have some fun?
Die! Die! Die!
Oh, here's the Shaggoth. Oh, this is funny. Yeah, Shaggoth, go ahead and take on this monstrosity.
They will succumb! We don't forgive!
Pine rats!
Now, ready, now!
And they are running. So I may have made that look easy, but that's only because I turned on the cheat mods. Trust me when I say the first time I did this, oh gosh, it was so stressful. Oh, I see. These spawns are literally the only reason why the battle isn't over yet, because they don't break. Right, so now my entire army is just going to converge on these things, and they're just going to die. This is rather funny watching the Zeppelin try to get to these things, just to attack them. Some of my other units are also making their way over, like, get him! I will say though, the Wive Rat or the Wiv Rat is an example of a mod that it may not be labeled as up to date, but it clearly does work fine. And I will say that's been my experience with a lot of the different mods that I've experimented with, is that even if a mod says it's out of date, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not able to run, or that it's going to cause problems. It could. There's always that risk. But
Sure.
you will also likely... Where did I lose a victory point? Alright, what's the spawn that's still here that has not routed that I still need to deal with? Where is it? I'm looking at the map, and all I see are white. I don't see red. Like, everything is running. Oh, there we go. So yeah, like this mod, this unit for this mod, it's labeled as out of date, but it's clearly working fine. So that's why I'm saying, like, if you're looking into messing around with lots of mods like I have been, and it's labeled as out of date, that doesn't necessarily mean it's not going to run or that it's going to cause massive bugs or problems. Because even if it's out of date, it's usually going to be clarified by the author sometimes that it will only change this, And because it only changes this, it may not need to be updated, and therefore that's why they have not actually updated it. So. Ghoritch had the most with 153 kills on his own. I guess we should have been watching Ghoritch. Of course, it's rather fitting that he got the most kills in this fight. But trust me when I say, doing that legit without any cheating mods, it was stressful. Especially when I realized I couldn't put all my units on the walls to help get the towers up and running. It was a stressful fight. So, if you're going to do this fight, I recommend make sure you get some units that can man the walls. Otherwise, you may have a tough time.
Me take.
A dish served cold. When conflict broke out between the forces of Chaos and the hordes of Clan Moulder, Ghoritch made it quite clear to his masters that he would be leading the charge against his former accomplices. And lead the charge he did. Neither humans nor demons could stand in this abomination's path as he slashed, clawed, bit, and crushed anyone who dared to stand in his way. Wherever Ghoritch was, carnage would follow. I believe this is courtesy of another mod called Legendary Lore. It's really cool for the narrative experience you may want to get with this game. It was only a matter of time before the Ever-Chosen himself rode out to meet the monstrosity of Clan Moulder in battle, and that was exactly the opportunity Ghoritch had long awaited, ever since he was left to the mercy of the Ratmen by his former employer. The Swords of Chaos, Archaon's champions, were torn to shreds by Ghoritch, whose eyes burnt with hatred as he came face to face with his foe. Long have I waited this day, traitor king. I now know my true purpose, to take your skull for corn.
Such eloquence for a rat beast, Archaon said. Throt's experiments have grown more perverse, I see.
Who were you?
You stand before Ghoritch.
Ghoritch? Snarled Archaon as he ordered his surviving lieutenants back.
Had I known you would continue to fester at my side, I would have cut you down long ago. That was your mistake, so-called Ever-Chosen, Ghoritch replied as he circled around the three-eyed king. One that you will pay for dearly.
Drawing his sword, Archaon beckoned the creature forth.
Come then, I will make this quick. I will not, snarled Ghoritch. Not after everything I have suffered.
Archaon may have received the blessings of the Dark Brothers, but a simple desire for vengeance was a powerful motivator. Ghoritch was merciless and relentless with his attacks, shrugging off spells and simply grunting through cuts as he tore away at the Ever-Chosen. When Archaon fell to the ground, exhausted, Ghoritch knew it was time. Leaping atop the Chaos Champion, Ghoritch's mechanical claws dug into his hated foe again and again. By the way, not all these are like canon lore. What these are cool, creative, custom pieces of lore based on who you're playing and who you defeat. Like, because we beat Archaon as Ghoritch, this is the text we get. It would be different if we were playing as Archaon and we beat, say, Throt with Ghoritch.
I want you to feel every moment of this, traitor king.
No response came, aside from a wet snick as the Ever-Chosen stabbed a broken spear point into Ghoritch's side. At this, the creature just smiled. His claws sliced and ripped into Archaon, his voice hoarse as he brayed and cursed at his enemy, vowing to recreate the pain that he himself had been made to suffer.
For so long I have dreamt about this, craved it, desired it, to see the life flow out of your eyes. How does it feel to have 1,000 knives cutting away at your soul? To feel your soul ripped out of your body? To awaken a monstrosity? Does it hurt? I swear, Ghoritch! Enough!
Throt marched over to his creation and prodded at him with his man-catcher.
Enough!
He said again. Ghoritch growled with barely contained rage, but he knew from painful experience that it was unwise to disobey.
Good. There's more kill-slaying to be done. Get on it!
With a snarl, Ghoritch bounded away, leaving Throt to examine the crushed remains of the Ever-Chosen. Concern brewed within the depraved rat about what the former Norskin would do if he ever turned on Clan Moulder or the Under Empire. Perhaps a fail-safe mechanism would be a reasonable investment. Seems like the kind of thing that Throt would do. And of course you get the buffs for defeating Archaon and that, along with Azazel, who apparently was there, and the Demon Prince, who was there. Nothing for Sigvald, though. Interesting. Unless Azazel was supposed to represent Sigvald there? I don't know. That could be a bug, or that could be something that TFE just had to resort to just because. I don't know. I never saw Azazel there, and I know Sigvald was there, and no defeat trait popped up for Sigvald. Shrug. Anyways, that is the unique quest battle you get as Throt, which features the return of the voice actor for Throt the Unclean playing his character. And once again, the name is that gentleman is Will Hanford. So, kudos to Mr. Hanford for participating in that. So, yeah, I wanted to go ahead and show you guys that. That is a cool, unique quest battle that you can be able to get with this Victory Conditions Overhaul mod. Highly recommend it to enhance your experience, along with legendary lore, as you saw there, as that adds some cool little story bits, depending on who you're playing as and who you defeat. One of my personal favorites was when I defeated Karl Franz as Vlad von Karstein. That one was cool. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys, and I will see you guys next time.
Twist, bend, mangle, experiment!